It is Monday, July 14th. Welcome back to Damon Bruce Plus, brought to you by Ike's Sandwiches, our good friends at the Dubliner West Portal as well. It's awesome to have you here. Thanks so much for stopping on by. Before we even get going, would you go ahead and hit like and subscribe? It's going to help the algorithm push today's show out. And look, we got a little bit to talk about, some actual 49ers news. A day before rookies are supposed to report to training camp, we get our first kerfuffle of this 49ers offseason, right? Because we got a situation brewing with Jauan Jennings. Jauan, God bless him, he's made his play. You know, he doesn't have an awful lot of leverage at any point in time in his career, and he probably won't have as much as he's got right now. So Team Jennings says, let's flex what little bit of leverage muscle we actually have in the moment. And we'll see if it actually works out from him. Look, he's got leverage on the 49ers, and he might as well make his play. And basically, Jennings is slotted to make $7.5 million this year. He is a wide receiver 3 or 4 under any normal circumstances. The 49ers wide receiver circumstances are not normal, so he has been bumped up the depth chart. There is a very good player in Jauan Jennings. I like Jauan Jennings. You like Jauan Jennings. We all like Jauan Jennings. And at $7.5 million, he probably is one of the best bargains in all of football. And if the 49ers want to do right by him and crack him off another type of extension, remember, this is a guy who is in the final year of a 2-year, $15.4 million extension that the 49ers gave him before the 2023 season started, before the 2024 season started. So this is the back end of what once made him right. And now he's saying, well, things aren't right. And nobody wants to have a lame duck contract when they're in the last year of a contract, especially in the violent sport of football. And I get it. I appreciate it. I don't think he's in position to demand a trade, though. I've seen Adam Schefter saying that, he either wants an extension or he's going to demand a trade. WR4 doesn't demand a trade. That's not how the NFL really works. So I've also seen it said that, he's not planning on holding out from when veterans report, but he would just like to be made right. And look, I would make him right. I think Jauan Jennings is a trusted agent. You want to go ahead and crack him off another $10, $11, $12 million and put it on next year? Go ahead, do that right now. Guarantee the whole thing. He's looking at 17.5. Give him 10.5 million guaranteed for next year. Bring him up to 18. He feels really good about the money he's making this year, next year. And you don't overextend yourself. This is not going to be some 3 or 4 year mega extension for Jauan Jennings. A very good last year from Jauan, there's no doubt, but he's never had a 1,000-yard season. Got close last year, but let's not say that Jauan Jennings is a number 2 or number 1 wide receiver on any other team in football, because he isn't. And really, when you look at the 49ers, it's Ayuk, Pearsall, Kittle, Christian McCaffrey, Demarcus Robinson, maybe even Jacob Cowing as guys that you're going to be looking to throw the ball to before you're looking to throw it to Jauan Jennings. Now, third and Jauan, he was really good. I've got nothing bad to say about Jauan Jennings, and you don't either. Again, we like this player. I would like him to be taken care of. What I don't like is the timing, but again, leverage is where timing kind of, the rubber meets the road, and the timing is right for Jauan to make his play. It really is. The 49ers are a little handcuffed by their current depth chart at wide receiver. When you look at it with Jauan Jennings, it's not fantastic. Without Jauan Jennings, it becomes pretty perilous. Here's what I would do if I were the 49ers. I would make Jauan whole. I would make him happy. I wouldn't give him, the overall arc of your life is changing with this one level contract. He hasn't earned that. That's not who he is. And that's what the 49ers should give him. I would bring Jauan Jennings back. I would also, if you really want to get, a little aggro about this and you're the 49ers, and I've been saying this with Jauan Jennings, I'm calling Keenan Allen today if I'm the San Francisco 49ers. I'm going to say to Jauan Jennings, okay, we're bringing in Keenan Allen, and we'll see how you're doing in, after training camp. Let's reevaluate you then. But you're going to want to be out there because this guy's going to take your snaps. There is a game of chicken to be played here. How much do the 49ers want to play a game of chicken with Jauan Jennings? How much does Jauan Jennings really want to play a game of chicken with the 49ers? Again, he's got a little bit of leverage. This isn't the greatest leverage anyone's ever had in a contract negotiation. Again, break Jennings off a little something or sign Keenan Allen today is the way I would go about this if I were the San Francisco. I'm going to tell you right now, if the 49ers signed Keenan Allen last Friday, this would not be your Monday morning story coming out of 49ers land. Sip of the day is underway, and so are we. It's great to have you here. So good to see so many familiar faces. Look at all these regular names and a few new ones as well in our chat today. Welcome, welcome. Please hit like and subscribe. Uncle Damon's got a little good advice for you. As always, my advice starts with great places to go eat. And I don't know what you're doing today for lunch, but you should do it at Ike's. Ike's sandwiches. I believe, San Diego, you're getting a new Ike's in Mission Valley at the end of the month. There's a new grand opening happening down in San Diego. So for any of our viewers, our listeners down there, more Ike's coming your way. I hope there are more Ike's coming to you no matter where you are as he expands ever westward, ever eastward, just expanding. And, your waistline is going to expand a little bit. That's how good and hearty the sandwiches are. Check out Ike's. Go ahead and sign up for that Love Rewards program. And when you do, you start earning your way towards free sandwiches, free chips, free drinks. It is the Love Rewards program where he gives you things like gifts, like free sandwiches and money off sandwiches to be spent on more sandwiches. It's a sandwich empire, and you're going to want to be a part of it. Thanks so much to Ike's for being our title sponsor and everything he's done for the channel. Thank you, brother. Go eat well today. Eat well at Ike's. Now, you want to drink well? You want one of the best Guinness you're going to get poured in all of San Francisco? You go to the Dubliner in West Portal, and you're going to find out instantly how absolutely fantastic it is. That is the perfect bar. You walk in, and you're just like, all right, this is what a bar is supposed to be. My favorite thing about the Dubliner is it's not trying. It just is. Get yourself to the Dubliner West Portal. Muni picks you up and drops you off right out front. You don't even have to pay for parking, and you'll certainly never have to worry about driving when you take Muni to and fro the Dubliner. Get yourself to the Dubliner in West Portal. You'll be very, very happy that you did. Thanks to our sponsors. Thanks to all of you. Thanks for the supers. Thanks to our members. Thanks to those who are buying merch. I saw somebody bought a little merch on Friday, and I always send somebody a thank you video whenever they do that. And then I saw that person was my mom. Mom still got a thank you video. The Duchess got her thank you video. I like that too. Mom not asking for any family discounts. She's going right to the counter with her purchase saying, okay, I'll take it. I think she needs a new nighttime t-shirt. And that's what she got, like a double X nighttime t-shirt. That feels like mom is going to be sleeping in a Plus t-shirt. So cheers, Mom. Thank you very much. Duchess always got my back. Leslie, it wouldn't be summer without a little 49er drama. Again, it's not much drama, and that's the good news. That people are out here trying to sell you on some serious drama. This isn't drama. This is business. This is normal business. This isn't going to interrupt the plans the 49ers have for the upcoming season. This is Team Jennings seeing a little bit of daylight to crack through, and they're looking for some daylight. Again, I don't blame Jauan Jennings at all. I'm not mad at him. You shouldn't be mad at him. The 49ers shouldn't be mad at him. No, there's nothing to be mad at. This is how business is done for a guy who's over-delivered, probably been underpaid, but still is undefined as a real NFL value and entity, and he just wants to be made right for next year. And I'm going to tell you right now, if Jauan Jennings has a roster spot on next year's team, I got no problem with that. Neither do you, and neither should the 49ers. So take care of your boy. Take care of your boy, Jauan Jennings. Again, he's slotted to make $7.5 million. That's not a huge number. Again, he finished the year with 77 catches, 975 yards, 6 touchdowns. He absolutely stepped into the void left by Brandon Ayuk and played about as well, if not over delivering on what you hoped the promise was. Go ahead, kid. Get it. Go get your cash. But tread lightly. Don't get too cocky. Don't get too greedy. Because I'm also telling you this, Jauan, and look, it's hard in an injury sport like football to say, bet on yourself and be patient. You know, Jauan Jennings is one bad injury away from maybe not playing again, and certainly not being able to go out and show everybody what he's worth by how important he's going to be on the field if he got hurt. But I'm going to tell you right now, let's say Jauan really does fancy himself a top flight wide receiver. He's gonna, in a unique way, have a chance to prove that this year. And the amount of money that he might be willing to settle for now might be short money if he has a monster year. Could you imagine if Jauan Jennings legitimately had like a 90 catch, 1,100 yard, 8 touchdown, 9 touchdown season? You might be selling yourself short by not bringing that to the open market. So, again, if he's happy to be here, if he's happy, he doesn't want to leave, this isn't about, getting the most amount of dollars out of the NFL, but just a little bit more assurance from the 49ers. I think that there's a deal to be reached, and hopefully they reach it before this time next week, because today is the day before rookies officially report to training camp. And that brings us to the other name that I'm a little bit more concerned about, and maybe you should be too, than Jauan Jennings, and that is rookie defensive tackle Alfred Collins. He's the name to keep an eye on right now, not Jauan Jennings. What is Alfred Collins? How about that? Forget about what is Alfred Collins going to do. Where is Alfred Collins going to do it tomorrow? Rookies report to training camp on Tuesday. And not sure whether or not Collins is going to be out there or not, or holding in or something. I can tell you right now that injuries have kept him sidelined since he was drafted. Alfred Collins has yet to do anything other than win a grip contest and put a jersey on. He has not done anything with the 49ers since being drafted. Veterans report on July 22nd. So that means everybody's got to get back in the room. But sometimes precedent gets in the way of progress, or new precedent, which the Niners, I guess, are fighting back against a little. And I don't blame NFL teams for this. NFL teams should be mad at the other NFL teams that have gone with new precedent. Being a second-round pick, only a handful of second-round picks have actually signed their rookie deals around the NFL so far. And that's basically because a few second-round picks have already signed and gotten guaranteed dollars, which the guarantee is not supposed to really trickle into or it's not supposed to trickle past the first round. Look at it that way. So Alfred Collins is watching a few rookies get guarantees in the second round, and he kind of wants that too. So now the 49ers are in a little bit of a, okay, do you want to die on this hill type of situation? Here's what I would tell the San Francisco 49ers. By taking Alfred Collins where you did in the draft, you're betting on him big anyways. So why would you not just put the money on the table and gamble with it? You're already gambling on him. What I wouldn't want to do is go up to Seattle in week 1 without him being prepared to play in that game, without him being ready for that day of contact. And you want him out there. And if all it does to get him out there is cost you a little bit of money, which, by the way, you're going to be paying him kind of anyway, just get it done. Again, the 49ers have put themselves in a situation where they can honestly look themselves in the mirror and say, look, money's not really going to be a problem around here. We said goodbye to a lot of guys that we liked in the name of spending less money on this team. We got a decent amount of cap space. We are more financially flexible today than we were 5 months ago. So the Niners are in a financial world that I think they want to be living in, which means you don't want to be going up to Seattle without Alfred Collins in week 1 over something as stupid and as easily replaceable as money is for guys that you drafted to have huge roles on this team anyway. Just get it done. By the way, everyone's happy to see Smiley Dan in here. Maybe Smiley Dan was on a little vacation. He's checking out safety, everyone. Good to see you, Dan. Good to see you, Dan. Sam Bruno, you're right. Gotta love the Duchess. Thank you. Thank you very much. Any more news about the Dubliner Giants game? That sounds like a great time. I'll tell you what, second half is going to be getting underway here in a little bit, Smiley Dan. I got to get to the Dubliner. I got to talk to Kenny about it. Wasn't able to meet him there last week, but we look at it this way. You're on the right channel for that information. When we have it ready for you, you will get it. I can promise you that. Jennings is a dog. Yeah, and here's the thing. He's your dog. Take care of your dog. If the dog is a little bit more reassured with a nice bowl of food and a doghouse, get him a bowl of food, get him his doghouse. Go ahead and take care of Jauan Jennings. There's nothing that is going to be financially irresponsible about breaking him off a little bit more for one more year. Get it done. Just get it done. Make it easy. You're right. EGS 1505. I'm more concerned about the Alfred Collins situation. As am I. You got to get that done. You got to get that taken care of. Oh, Carl with the monkey wrench in here. Howdy. Good to see you, Carl, as always. JJ Rader, my man Joe Sullivan, Indigo, all you guys, all you gals. Great to see you. Thank you for being here. Leslie's in the room. We got all kinds of people in the room today. Everyone, again, we're getting closer and closer to football season. It's going to be a busy week here on the Plus. I've already reached out to the 49ers and said, hey, when's media allowed to come on down and get around training camp? I want to get a part of that again. So we're going to be on down there covering this team for you. So like and subscribe if you would, please. This Alfred Collins headache isn't just a 49ers headache. There are other front offices around football having the same headache. Second rounders now want guaranteed through deals. It's, new way of doing business. Again, precedent matters. And when one team steps out of line, it ripples through the league. It really, really does. Oh, my man Barry coming in with a little super for you. Bang, bang from Memphis. Been a long time. Miss my Plusers. We missed you too, Barry. Good to see you back. Hope you and Mary are having a great, great summer down in Memphis. It's crazy, though. Here we are, middle of July. It's going to be the middle of August before you sneeze. Middle of August means we're right at the end of preseason. And, here we go. Football will be here starting on September 7th for the 49ers. That is week 1 up in Seattle. So again, get your Alfred Collins in the building, make it all happen, make it nice. Everybody get along with each other. You see a little bit of a, contract holdout this time of year for Niner fans. I understand why you get some PTSD over that, why you're a little shell-shocked by that after what we went through with Ayuk last year, what you went through with Trent Williams last year. And look, Jauan Jennings is sitting around looking at guys getting paid and thinking, all right, maybe a little something more for me. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. If the Niners are smart, this Jauan Jennings thing is put to bed by next week easily. Again, no reason to, try to sharpen your knife on the back of Jauan Jennings as shrewd negotiators. It's just unnecessary. All right. What the hell else is going on from over the weekend? You saw the Dodgers take 2 or 3 off the Giants. We're officially at the All-Star break. We'll talk about that in just a second. But after winning that series opener, man, the Giants, they wilted like a delicate flower against the Dodgers, who snapped a season-long 7-game losing streak and won back-to-back games as the Giants enter the All-Star break with a couple of losses on now. And look, it was a fun Friday night game. And even though the pitching remained great for the Giants throughout the weekend, it was the offense that let them down once again. Giants are going to enter the break 6 games back of the first place Dodgers. They went 1 for 12 over the weekend with a grand total of 9 hits. A grand total of 9 hits over the weekend. 1 for 12 with runners in scoring position. And there's just no doubt that they need another move or two. They really do. They need another bat. That's for sure. They might need another starter. Asking, Roop or Birdsong to be the, third guy out of the blocks when the playoffs start is a big ask on both of those guys. And just getting to the playoffs is a big ask when you got a lineup that can just get as anemic as the Giants lineup tends to get sometimes. And look, I don't want to pin all of Giant offensive frustrations on Rafael Devers, but even a player that I like less than Devers, Willy Adames, has started to turn things around a little bit. He has been heating up at the plate more than he was when he was ice cold earlier in the year. But Rafael Devers, since joining the Giants, has just not been very good. He's hitting .202 as a Giant with 2 home runs, I think 10 RBI. In his last 45 games, so this is stretching back to when he was still a Red Sox, over his last 45 games, he's a 196 hitter with 54 strikeouts. He's been awful. Rafael Devers with the Giants, for who he's supposed to be and what they're paying him to be, has been awful. Now, I'm not saying he's awful or it's going to end horribly, but the start and the honeymoon are both over for Rafael Devers. And when this second half begins, he better get on the damn horse and start riding it, okay? I mean, the Giants, there is no... and they had a really good year in spite of the fact Devers didn't really work out. Like, that's not going to happen. They need him to start coming through, especially in RBI situations. Since being traded to San Francisco, I'm not saying he is the cloud that is raining on the entire parade, but since being traded to the Giants are now 11-14, and the Red Sox are 17-9 since trading him out of Boston, and they've won 10 in a row. So Rafael Devers leaving Boston has been better for the Red Sox than his arrival in San Francisco has been for the Giants. And that ain't good. Incredible pitching being let down by the inning by a completely feckless, limp-wristed, can't string 3 hits together lineup. It's frustrating. Baseball just ain't where it used to be in our lives, in my life, and I can prove it to you by just asking you a really simple question. Do you even know where the All-Star Game is? Don't look it up. Don't look it up. Be honest. Do you know where the All-Star Game is? It's being played tomorrow. Do you know where it is? I bet you don't. I bet you most people cannot tell you where the Major League All-Star Game is this year. That used to be a question that you could answer like on opening day. Where's the All-Star Game this year? Oh, I know where the All-Star Game is. It's in Atlanta. Few of you got it right. There you go. Christopher, at least being honest, saying like, no clue. No clue. SF Indigo. Nope. Mike. Nope. Jamie. Don't care. And that's something. Because when you honestly talk about the things that in my lifetime I thought we would not care about, The Major League All-Star Game would have never been one of them. The All-Star Game used to be such a big deal. The Home Run Derby is tonight. Let me give you another example of baseball's got a problem. I don't care what their profit margin says, how healthy there is, or whatever ratings, or whatever baseball points to and says, yeah, we're in good health. Let me just tell you this. Their Home Run Derby, which will take place tonight, will take place with a collection of stars that are literally unidentifiable outside of, and maybe even inside the major league cities that they play in. You know, the New York Yankees are a big deal. If you were sitting on BART today and Jazz Chisholm sat down next to you of the New York Yankees, do you think you'd recognize him? Because I don't think you would. I don't think you'd recognize O'Neal Cruz of the Pittsburgh Pirates. I don't think you would recognize Matt Olson of the Atlanta Braves. I really don't. I don't think you'd recognize Brent Rooker or Byron Buxton or Junior Caminero, sorry, of the Nationals. James Woods, the actor, is more recognizable than James Woods, the Washington National. Cal Raleigh is having one of the single greatest seasons of baseball ever being had by a catcher. This guy's got 38 home runs before the All-Star break. And if Cal Raleigh picked you up in an Uber today, I don't even think you'd look twice or ask, be like, why are you driving my Uber today? Aren't you a famous Seattle Mariner? He isn't. He isn't a famous anything. He's having a great year, one of baseball's best stories, and I don't think he could be identified by 100 out of 100 random people. If I just showed you a picture of Cal Raleigh and said, who is this? I think 0 for 100. Unless you ran into just randomly a diehard Mariner fan. Who is this? No one would be able to tell you that. And that is your home run derby tonight. Players you really don't know, can't recognize, probably don't care that much about, but that is your home run derby. No Teoscar Hernandez, no Pete Alonso, no Bryce Harper, no Kyle Schwarber, no Shohei Ohtani, no Freddie Freeman, no Mookie Betts, no all the big players in baseball that you might recognize. None of them are in the All-Star game. Certainly the home run derby anyways. And that's a problem. Barry says, Damon, what do you think the problem is? Is it league-wide or is it a combination of smaller issues? It's a ton of things. It is a lack of ability to sell the game. It is a lack of ability to identify any young talent and really market the game around them. I wish I knew more as to why baseball decided to fail itself. You know, this is a team that can't, or I should say, this is a league that has problems identifying and marketing its young stars. And it probably shouldn't surprise us because this is also the same league that doesn't have the ability to market its old stars, namely like Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens, because they've been shunned so severely over the steroid era that guys who belong as first ballot Hall of Famers can't even set foot in the city of Cooperstown. So baseball doesn't give a shit about baseball players for the most part. And I think that that does trickle down. And I think it's a combination of bad marketing, bad ownership, bad ratings, bad know-how, the inability to embrace social media the way the other leagues have. I can't really explain it, but it has been incubating for so many years that you'd think somebody would count it, you would come in and be like, look, we're doing this the wrong way. We're doing it the wrong way. How do we do it better? You know, how is any WNBA player more recognizable than any all-star caliber major leaguer? Caitlin Clark would be recognized by 90 of 100 people. Cal Raleigh, none of 100 people would recognize him. Jay says, look, people only care about the NFL now. Man, I mean, I hear what you're saying. There is no doubt that the NFL outranks everything and everyone in the world of sports. But even with the NFL doing that, Major League Baseball should still have a whole bunch of young players that are recognizable to you if you are a baseball fan. I am still a baseball fan, not nearly as much as I used to. But I'd be the first one to tell you right now that if, a guy who I have met and know in Matt Olson from his time with the Oakland A's, now he's with Atlanta. If he sat down next to me on Bart tomorrow, I wouldn't be like, oh, hey, Matt Olson, man, I see you everywhere. Every time I turn on the TV, there's Matt Olson. The most recognizable star in Major League Baseball, without a doubt, is Shohei Ohtani. And that's because the 6'4" Japanese dude in the lineup stands out like a sore thumb. And he's been marketed well. And he captures our imagination. There's very little about baseball that captures our imagination the way that it used to. And it's part of the reason why the sport is in, a little bit of trouble. I don't care how much they tell you that they're doing great. Joe Pavelski won the ACC in Tahoe. Nice comeback try by Steph, but the bear was at the top of the tree. Okay. E. Scott Burns, congratulations to everybody who was up in Tahoe, circle jerking themselves, having a really good time with all their famous rich friends. It kind of looks awesome. It kind of looks like an everybody trying too hard douchebag party as well. There's a part of me that really wants to be up there. There's another part of me that goes, yeah, I want nothing to do with that. That's a clown show. But good for Steph and good for Joe Pavelski. There's something about hockey players and golfing that have always gone very, very well together. Hockey players, I'll bet you, if all sports got together and put together who's got our best the foursome of hockey players would be really hard to beat in any sport. There's something about the way the club swings, a slap shot. I don't know. It's more translatable than baseball, than in football, than in basketball. So I'm telling you, baseball doesn't know how to market its stars. They're trying to make a big deal out of baseball's amateur draft, which gets a little bit more attention now than it used to. Baseball's never done very well from an amateur draft standpoint in terms of turning players into household names. But I tell you, there is something interesting that happened at the top of the draft that if I didn't tell you about it, there's probably nobody talking about it. So I'll tell you about it just so you know a little something. A kid named Eli Willits was the number 1 overall pick of the Major League Amateur Draft. He goes to the Nationals. He's a shortstop center fielder. He's a prospect out of high school in Oklahoma. And at 17 years old, 216 days, he's the 3rd youngest player in Major League history to be drafted first overall. And he's the youngest since Ken Griffey Jr., all the way back in 1987. So, the number 1 pick in the draft, Eli Willits. How long will it take him to climb the ranks of the Nationals farm system? We'll find out. The 13th overall pick of the draft went to the San Francisco Giants, Gavin Klein, a second base shortstop out of Tennessee. After 2 years at Louisville, he transferred to Tennessee, had a huge year, became a first-year All-American, total stud, played shortstop in the past, but he projects more as a second baseman, makes a ton of contact from the left-handed side of the plate. Giants drafted a player who was born in 2004. For those of you who wanted to feel a little bit older today, there is a kid who just got drafted to the Giants who was born in 2004. Welcome, Gavin. We'll see what you look like. The A's made out with a couple of really good players in their first 2 picks. They got Jamie Arnold, who's a left-handed pitcher from Florida State, who, while he was coming through Florida State, there was a little bit of he might be the number 1 overall pick in the amateur draft conversation around him. The A's were thrilled to see him fall to 11. They must have ran that up to the podium saying, we'll draft that guy. And look, you can just look at recent first rounders that the A's have been watching fly through their farm system. What, Jacob Wilson and Nick Kurtz are both first rounders who are instantly with the major league team. Don't know how long it's going to take for Arnold to actually join them. We will see. But congratulations. You go to the worst ballpark in baseball because it's a minor league ballpark. And I feel bad for Devin Taylor, who the A's took 48th overall. He's out of Indiana. He's IU's all-time home run leader, a powerful hitting outfielder. Devin Taylor is now going to be playing in a worse facility in college because he got drafted by the A's. Like, I wouldn't wish the A's upon any young major league career, even though major league careers have actually done well around the A's. I wouldn't want to be part of that system at all. It's like you work all your life to become a major leaguer, and then even as becoming a major leaguer, you're kind of only sort of a major leaguer because it's the A's and everything they do is substandard. I certainly don't like glowing about rivals, but when something special happens in sports, you got to salute it no matter where it comes from. As we were talking about last week, there are very few, or at least they feel far and further in between, of firsts happening around sports. We're too deep into sports for a lot of, well, that's never happened before, to ever happen again in sports. So when something that has never happened before happens, you got to kind of look at it and be impressed. We need to appreciate the never happened before in sports because we're not going to get a lot of them remaining in our lives. And I'll congratulate and say, I guess it's officially good to be a Michigan Wolverine. At least you're proud of your athletic department today if you are a Michigan Wolverine. Congrats are in order to Ann Arbor, as Michigan became the first ever school to have 4 first-round draft picks in the 4 major drafts in the same year. The NFL, the NBA, the NHL, and baseball all took Michigan Wolverines somewhere in the first round of their drafts, and that's never, ever happened before. It's certainly a compliment to the robust athletic department in Ann Arbor. If you're wondering who it is, where they are, you can look that up yourself. I'll tell you, SB Nation said, in addition to the athletes that were first-round picks, there's also a Michigan first-rounder in the MLS draft, but we're not looking at the MLS draft as a major sports draft. Sorry, you're not one of the 4 majors. And with all due respect to the WNBA, ladies, you ain't in this conversation yet either. The only other pro leagues which actually have drafts are the WNBA and Major League Lacrosse. Michigan put no first rounder into Major League Lacrosse or the WNBA, but there were third rounders out of Michigan that went in both leagues. And again, they had a first rounder in the MLS draft. So I mean, that's pretty impressive. That's a robust athletic department. Cheers, I guess, Michigan. All right, before we get to today in history, let's see what else we got going on here. John Fisher, the Oakland A's killer / owner. Yeah, he does kind of ruin everything he touches. I wouldn't want to come play for him. No one. 0 snaps. That's right. John Fisher gets 0 snaps, Red Jet. No snaps, no Z snaps. Not for him. All right, we got a little kind of funny, kind of sad news because we're laughing at ignorance, which is never where you want to be generating your laughter from. But okay, sometimes dudes step in it. And this dude, unfortunately, is Golden State Warrior Buddy Hield. I saw on USA Today that Buddy Hield was on vacation in Rome. And like anyone who's going to Rome for the first time, the Coliseum's got to be on your I got to go see it list. If I go to Rome, I'm going to the Coliseum for sure myself. I'd love to see the Coliseum. And Buddy Hield was really excited to see the Coliseum. And apparently was told some devastating news by his tour guide as he was walking around the Coliseum. Apparently, Buddy Hield, every single where he went, around every corner, was shouting, "Maximus! Where's Maximus?" Now, he wasn't looking, I guess, for, like, Russell Crowe. He didn't think he would be there, but maybe like a tribute to the Gladiator that is his favorite Gladiator ever, Maximus. Well, I'll let Buddy just tell the rest of the story himself instead of me walking you through it, because this is, again, kind of funny, kind of sad, kind of gold, all at the same time. Here's Buddy Hield at a Warrior Summer League game talking about a little bit of embarrassment that came his way via his tour guide when he told Buddy that he had news for him that Buddy might not have want to heard.
I was a little disappointed when I was in the Coliseum.
Why?
Because Gladiator, I watched Gladiator, and I thought Maximus was a real warrior. So I'm going to the Coliseum, streaming Maximus, and my tour guy said he's not real.
Did you see Gladiator 2?
I did.
Not as good.
Not as good.
We'll leave the movie reviews for later.
So there you go. Buddy Hield thought that Maximus Aurelius, whatever, was a real gladiator. I mean, there is the internet. Like, he could have looked that up, but I guess he waited until he got to Rome, started looking for Maximus, screaming for him, and the tour guide's like, dude, that's a movie. The 14-year-old girl that was just doing that sideline report knew that it was just a movie. Buddy, like, what are they teaching these kids at Oklahoma? Like, seriously, what are they teaching these kids at Oklahoma if you really thought that Gladiator was real? Okay. I mean, that's like the conversation that I have with my kids all the time. You know, like, guys, bubble guppies aren't real. Blippi's not real. It's just a character on the TV. Thomas the Train is not real. No engine is ever going to, like, drive by you, look at you, and smile. Like that. Buddy Hield finding out Maximus is not real. It's another something gone wrong for the Warriors this offseason. Maximus, I guess, is more real than any actual transaction that the Warriors have made so far this offseason. So he's more real than that. Batman Buddy? Yeah, Batman Buddy. Yeah, seriously, how you going to even be Commissioner Gordon? I mean, who's going to be the first to tell him that Batman and Commissioner Gordon aren't real either? Does anyone want to have to do that for Buddy? Jamie, are you not entertained? Buddy's a funny dude. I bet he's heck entertaining as a teammate. Oh, the fact that, you know, you got Jimmy Butler just ripping on him all the time means that they do love the guy. Barry's like, oh my God, are we really that stupid? I guess really gullible would be the way to look at it. Apparently, Buddy's not been paying attention during Today in History. Yeah, notice we have never actually brought up Maximus being, today Maximus was killed by the guy who played the Joker in upcoming Joker movies with the thumbs. All right, you ready for Today in History? Here we go. It's not a big day for birthdays. As a matter of fact, our first entrant, are this guy's 15 minutes almost up? I hope so. I didn't enjoy much of him. He seems like a huge prick. Happy birthday to Conor McGregor, 37 years old today. Conor McGregor seems like a douche. Happy birthday. Jane Lynch of Glee fame, and she is in a lot of movies. She's funny. I like Jane Lynch. She's 65 today. Jane Lynch turned 65. I love her as the lesbian dog trainer in Best in Show. She's in another mockumentary called what is oh God, what is it with Kirsten Dunst? It's about the beauty pageant. Drop Dead Gorgeous. She's in that as well. That's hysterical. So happy birthday to someone I really like, I think we all enjoy, and someone whose 15 minutes I hope are officially up. Conor McGregor. All right. Happy birthday, kind of, to Paris and the French Revolution anyways, because on this day in 1789, a mob advanced on the Bastille in Paris. They demanded arms and munitions that were stored there. They got what they wanted, and that is how the French Revolution officially overthrew the monarchy. After they raided the Bastille, after they freed some prisoners who were being held there. So big day over in France, Bastille Day, today in 1789. Today in 1881, Billy the Kid was shot and killed by sheriff and I guess one of the first official frenemies that we've ever had in America. A guy was a friend and then turned into an enemy of Billy the Kid. It was Pat Garrett right outside of Fort Sumner who shot and killed Billy the Kid today in 1881. Today in 1968, so we take a big leap forward where Hank Aaron had himself a big milestone home run today in 1968. Hank Aaron hit his 500th career home run. He would go on to hit many, many more. Today in 1969, Easy Rider was released in theaters. It became a classic of counterculture. It was a movie that got all psychedelic and weird at the end of it, when a lot of people experienced their first weird psychedelic movie when they're getting all trippy and on acid and running around the New Orleans graveyards at the end of that. It was a huge bust out role for Jack Nicholson. It really propelled him into a level of movie stardom that very, very few other movie stars have ever reached. Of course, Jack, every single time he would take a sip of booze, he would give you the Indian. And we'll do that in honor of Jack right here. A little. Let's start our week with a little other sip of the day, shall we? The bottle's open. Why not take a tug? Why not? Sure. Why not? It's why I ride a Harley. I was 11, says Rick, when that movie came out. Love those monkey handlebars, right? Cheers. Thank you very much. Yeah, bottle pull on a Monday. As JJ Rader says, Habes, why not? Why not indeed? So Easy Rider released today in 1969. By the way, also today in 1969, America discontinued 4 bills, which used to be out there in circulation. Did you know that there was a $500 bill? There was a $1,000 bill. There was a $5,000 bill. And there was a $10,000 bill. Excuse me. That wasn't a 20 I gave you. It was a $10,000 bill. Can I please have change for that? I could see why those bills pretty much went away. It's a lot of money to be handing over in one single sawbuck. But yeah, we used to have $500, $1,000, $5,000, and $10,000 bills. They were officially withdrawn from circulation today in 1996. By the way, Red Jet, who's been a member for 18 months, she's saying, hit that like button. You got a bottle pull, for goodness sakes. Yeah, cheers. Indeed. Thank you very, very much. Let's see. Oh, this was a big one. Again, we try to stay out of the movie, television, song released thing on Today in History. We like our history to be more historical than just the release of a movie. But then you get to a few of them and you're like, all right, that was a big one. Today in 1989, we got When Harry Met Sally. When Harry Met Sally still holds water. When Harry Met Sally still fantastic. Meg Ryan is still cute as hell in When Harry Met Sally. It's Billy Crystal's best work. It's a great, great rom-com movie that, I mean, was a monster. When Harry Met Sally in 1989, it was a monster. And it's still a great movie. It gets you right in the awes. Oh, Rob Reiner did a really nice job with that. I'll have what she's having. Like I said, there aren't a lot of firsts left out there for us. And as we move along time, there are very few lasts, or at least the identifiable last time that ever happened. Well, apparently today in 2013 was the last telegram that was ever sent. I can't believe it lasted all the way to 2013. It was sent as India's state-run telecommunications company ended its telegraph service. So everyone had gone to email or whatever by 2013. India held out the telegraph system as long as it can, but today, the very last one ever sent in India in 2013, final telegram. Put that in an envelope and lick it. There you go. Last telegram ever sent. Finally, I do think it's important to tell you that when we do celebrate our how did this turn into national whatever day it is, today is National Mac and Cheese Day. I've got a complicated relationship with macaroni and cheese. I think if we're all being honest, macaroni and cheese is a touch overrated unless it's excellent, in which case it is like a first class and degree delicacy. Macaroni and cheese often is the empty calorie, little too dry, not very good. This is why we make fun of white people's side dish that is done incorrectly. More often than it's done correctly, to the point where sometimes the stupid Kraft boxed macaroni and cheese is better than the whatever the hell that is coming out of the oven. You got to be careful with macaroni and cheese. You can't be casual with macaroni and cheese. You really got to nail it. This is what I'm talking about here. Otis gets it. Mac and cheese is good if it's made right. Again, if you start using it as a delivery vehicle of bacon, like when you're like, I remember one time I was at this restaurant and like, the chef was nice enough to send us over macaroni and cheese with like shaved truffles and lobster in it. And he comes out and he's like, huh? What do you think? I'm like, well, what do you mean? What do I think? Of course it's delicious. You just took the most expensive ingredients in the kitchen and put them on top of your macaroni and cheese. Of course that's going to be good. But the truth is, it would probably be even better if you just left the macaroni and cheese out of it and gave me like a lobster truffle dish. Again, I got a complicated relationship with macaroni and cheese. Oh, here you go. Otis is saying Popeyes, good mac and cheese. KFC, not so much. It's funny. Kentucky Fried Chicken side dishes, no matter which one you order, they all kind of taste the same, don't they? They really do. They all sort of taste the same. There you go. And this is what I'm going to leave you with as macaroni and cheese is being discussed thoroughly here in the chat. I'm just going to go with Smiley Dan. Give me those crusty edges. It's amazing how often that sentence applies to my life. Give me the crusty edges. Give me the crusty edges of a comedy show. Give me the crusty edges of a noodle kugel. Give me the crusty edges of of stuffing. Give me the crunchy, crusty edges. I do like that. I very much do. And on that note, I'm just going to say thank you so much for watching today. It's going to be a fun week here on the Plus. We got a few things cooking along with our coverage of training camp opening. I've got a few fishing lines out to a few guests that we're trying to pull in. Again, we brought you Warren Sharp last week. A lot of Warren Sharp videos are out on the channel. Check those out. Some really interesting stuff around the 49ers from, I think, one of the best analysts out there. And we got a few other oars in the fire, or logs, I guess I should say, in the fire of guests that we'll hopefully be bringing to you soon. In the meantime, by the way, I'll say this about Ray Ratto. Ray Ratto would talk about the macaroni and cheese at homeroom too. It's all macaroni. I mean, that's the thing. If you're specializing in mac and cheese, you better nail it. And I guess homeroom absolutely nails it. Ray had nothing nice to say about anything or anyone. And he hailed the homeroom macaroni and cheese as special. Again, this is a man who's never, ever, ever even tried a burrito. That's how, that's how experimental Ray was when it comes to eating. So there you go. That's it, kids. Thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe on your way out if you have not already. Please and thank you so very much. Thanks to everyone who dropped a super today. Barry, great to see you. Thank you very much. Red Jet as well. Thank you to all of you, my kind of people. I look forward to hanging out with you each and every day live at 11 West Coast. Didn't do a wake up this morning because Kruger got called into the radio station. So we'll be back to Niner Wake Up on Friday. And hey, hopefully the Jauan Jennings situation's put to bed by then. It'd be silly not to. Hopefully the Alfred Collins situation is put to bed by then. In the meantime, thank you so very, very much for tuning in. And please do remember that sports don't build character. They reveal it. And like that, he's gone.